So it is Monday, I don't even know, 6th, I think, 5th, 6th of May. It is about 4:15. I am heading home. It is raining, as you can see if you can hear that. It is the perfect day to go home and work on some writing. If you're in our group Discord, then you have heard a little bit about the book. We've shared these book intro documents that we've all been making, and I've talked about it a little bit. But I haven't really sat down here on the channel and talked about really what this book is about, other than the fact that it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling. So that's something that I definitely want to do. I said that I was going to do that in April with the Rough Draft Challenge, and then never did. So I think that's what I'm going to do tonight to start off this episode 1 of the vlog. I will tell you kind of what the book is going to be specifically about, what the different themes and plot points are, and a little bit of a synopsis for the story, and tell you guys kind of where I am and where things are going to be going. It is raining today. It is, the last couple of days have been rainy in Vegas, which is my favorite weather. I'm very happy about it. So I'm going to focus on driving, get home safe, and then I will check back in with you guys later tonight, and we will talk all things all around.
Hey friends, welcome back. So one of the first things that I really wanted to do in this first Hollow Crown writing vlog is give you guys a little bit of a deeper dive into the story, what it's about, what I've written so far, and kind of where I am in the process. I don't think I've really sat down and talked to you guys about what this book actually is, what it's about, what the different themes are. I have mentioned that it is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but I haven't really gone much further than that. So I wanted to really do a deeper dive and introduce you guys to the Hollow Crown. So what is the Hollow Crown? It is at its core a dark fairy tale retelling. As I said, it is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, so it does have some similar themes and some character names that might sound familiar. Honestly, it's mainly the characters that I have kind of repurposed in this book. This is definitely a lot more than just the typical young woman in the forest who ends up having a curse put on her and true love's kiss to wake her up, that kind of thing. It's definitely more than that. In my version of retelling, we have Prince Philip, who is the Prince of Luminara, which is the name of this kingdom, and he is the prince set to someday take over the throne from his father, King Stefan, and he has been betrothed to his childhood best friend and now girlfriend, Lady Honora. So Honora is the Aurora character in this story. She starts off the story Philip's equal in kind of every way. The kingdom loves her. They know that she is his betrothed. It is being announced. His family loves her. His parents love her. And in this kingdom, Philip has magic powers. He has light magic that allows him to kind of stabilize and hold this aura that surrounds Luminara, which is a sort of kind of a force field, but it's like a bubble that surrounds Luminara, and that force field is held through his light magic. And it just so happens that Honora also has this light magic, and she kind of complements him and equals him, but she also kind of strengthens his magic. When they are wed and they come together as king and queen, she will strengthen his magic to help him sustain the aura, because the aura is being attacked and constantly fought and constantly draining on Philip's magic because of the Nightmare Queen, who in this instance, in this retelling, would be the Maleficent character. She is the opposite of Philip and opposite of Luminara in every way. She wields shadows and darkness and dark magic, and her shadows are constantly attacking the aura to try to get into Luminara, and so that is a constant drain on his magic. So Luminara will be set within a larger world, a larger set of kingdoms. So this whole series is called the Forgotten Kingdoms, and Luminara is just one of the kingdoms within the realm. So the story starts out on a happy note. Philip and Honora's betrothal is going to be announced officially to the kingdom, even though everyone basically already knows. It's like the official event, the official ball celebrating their engagement and their betrothal. Is that a word, betrothal? I keep saying that, and now I'm not sure if it's a word, but you get what I mean. So the story starts out with a celebration. Honora's on her way to the palace. So in this story, we do have the 3 fairies who are Honora's basically adopted mothers. One of the things about Honora is that she was actually found in the woods as a baby. The 3 fairies found her, and the way that she got her light magic to complement Philip's is that the fairies gifted her with the magic when they found her, and they essentially raised her. So the book starts out with Honora heading to the palace from her mother's cottage in the woods, and she gets there. She meets Philip along the way, and they get to the palace and they get ready for their the celebration of their engagement. While at the party, things go horribly wrong, and the Nightmare Queen has somehow gotten through Philip's aura and has appeared at the ball, and a curse is placed on the kingdom. And that is how we end the first few chapters. So at first, the curse kind of throws everything into confusion. Nobody really knows, is it affecting just those within the kingdom? Is it affecting just the royal family? But they end up finding out that this curse is actually affecting the entire kingdom of Luminara. So this curse has thrown everything into chaos because it has turned all of their dreams into nightmares. They all have difficulty sleeping, staying asleep, and when they do sleep, they are all pulled into these terrible nightmares filled with darkness and shadow and creatures and their worst fears, basically. But what nobody realizes is that Honora is the only one who is not experiencing these nightmares, and she does not know why. So I really wanted the mystery of Honora's heritage and her appearance within Luminara and her past and her history and why she is not experiencing these nightmares to be something that that keeps you intrigued, that keeps you guessing, and that you kind of spend the whole book trying to figure out. So there's going to be a lot of unraveling of truths and fractured memories and a curse that is wrapped up in shadows and darkness and desire, which I think I have really been able to get across so far in this first draft, which I'm really happy about. So like I said, the Luminara is just one of the kingdoms in this larger realm, and so they're all kind of tied together. And so the series as a whole is going to be a series of books that are fairytale retellings. The entire realm itself is full of kingdoms that are enchanted and that hold long buried secrets and royal bloodlines that are tied to different forms of magic. And I really like the idea of kind of showcasing darkness versus light. And so in Sleeping Beauty, I'm doing that not just as far as the queen and the prince and good versus evil, but doing it in a physical way and a manifestation of their magic, which I think is really interesting. Nora, even though she has light magic, her dreams, the dreams that she does have, are filled of that darkness and slowly start to kind of take over her mind and her thoughts, and she doesn't know why. She's starting to feel this pull between both dark and light. So while I definitely wouldn't call this a slow burn romance, there is kind of some elements of a slow burn. There's some kind of push and pull between the couple, and there's a lot of sensual dreams and creeping dread and just the mystery again of Honora and this curse and why it was placed in the kingdom. And it seems like every time they answer one question, it leads to a million more, and they never can seem to get the answers that they need. So one thing I really wanted was for the story to be filled of moonlit forests and forbidden libraries and nightmares filled with dread and mystery and uncertainty and, like I said, those shadows and darkness. So I obviously don't want to give too much away, but I have a good sense of where the story is going to go. And so once the curse is placed on the kingdom, Honora and Philip get pulled apart. Honora stays at the palace and she is diving into the library and kind of trying to research all of these curses and if anything like this has ever happened in Luminara before and different ways to break curses and how they can fix this. Her and Philip are both very loyal and very they very much feel the weight and responsibility of the fact that they will someday be king and queen. So they feel like they both feel that it's very much their duty to figure out this curse and how to break it and how to help their people who are now experiencing these nightmares. So they get pulled apart. Like I said, Honora stays at the palace to do the research and figure things out, while Philip rides off into the kingdom to see just how far this curse really has stretched and to ride to the edges of Luminara to where the aura is and to kind of test its strength and try to feed it a little bit more with his magic. That is kind of Act 2, and then Act 3 will obviously be like the culmination of everything and starting to find out the truth and some of those mysteries starting to be answered and the like final battle of darkness and light and how it's all going to play out. So yeah, that is basically what the Hollow Crown is about. Again, I didn't want to go too deep into it because there are a lot of mysteries and different things that I want to be revealed, and I don't want to give a lot of that away. But I have had a lot of fun writing this story. I have really liked, as I've been writing it, the different ways that I've thought of to connect the other stories. There are a few elements that will kind of tie into other stories that are kind of little Easter eggs to other stories. You might pick up a few things that tie into other fairy tales. There's also the element of the fates or the muses who are not really narrating the story itself. This is something I'm still kind of trying to figure out how exactly I want this to be, but the beginning, the prologue of the story, and then in between each act there is this part where the muses come and do like a poem, I guess. Essentially it's like prose, and they kind of wrap up. They either foretell something that's coming in the story or they wrap up what just happened in the story, very much the way the muses kind of narrate, like Hercules, if you've seen the Disney movie Hercules. Very similar to that. And there is this overarching element throughout the whole series of this thing called the Heartstone, and I haven't fully figured out how that is going to tie into all of the stories, but it is mentioned kind of a few times throughout the Hollow Crown. That is what the Hollow Crown is about. Hopefully it was enough to kind of pique your interest, and hopefully it sounds like something that you would want to read.
Hey friends, welcome back. It is a little while later. I filmed that first portion of this vlog talking about the Hollow Crown and giving like a little synopsis of it, I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. And I started to edit it and I realized that I had not done any kind of outro or anything. I just kind of cut off the video. I had said that I was going to talk about like the actual writing process and where I am in the process, where I am in the story, that kind of thing, like shifting the focus a little bit from like the plot of the story to like the actual writing of it. But I think I'm going to save that for a separate video. I think this video is already like 20 minutes long, so I don't want to go too much over that. So like I said, I think I'll save that for maybe the next episode of this series. So this series is going to have this first introductory video that you are watching, and then the next 2 or 3 episodes will be all about my trip to Disneyland. This trip is, yes, an anniversary trip, but I'm also using it as an opportunity to do research for the Hollow Crown. Disneyland's castle is Sleeping Beauty Castle, and there are some different elements regarding Sleeping Beauty and that kind of thing in the park, as well as Fantasyland, and I think it would just be a really cool way to kind of immerse myself in a fantasy world. Where else can you do that in the real world? So I think that would be the perfect opportunity to do that. So I think there's probably going to be 2 or 3 of those videos that I've been doing, 2 or 3 episodes, and then you will probably see me really dive back into writing after our trip. And that's when I would talk to you guys about where I am in the process, where I am in the story, that kind of thing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it so much. I hope my synopsis of The Hollow Crown was like concise but also informative and really put across the plot and like trajectory of the story the way I wanted it to. So yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. I hope your own writing is going great. Let me know down in the comments where you are in the process on your story. Happy writing, and I will see you guys in the next one.